Today in Football Manager, we're going to be taking Juventus back to the very top of Italian football and European football. Juventus is a club that's known for its dominance in Italy and Europe, but this season has been nothing short of a roller coaster. Thiago Motta's reign was full of promise but plagued by inconsistency. The pressure was mounting and it all came to a head when they made a shocking decision to sack him in recent events. So I thought it would be a perfect idea to take Juventus back to the very top of Italian football and see if we can complete the goal that Thiago Motta couldn't do himself. And as you can see, boys, we are here. We've taken the helm at Juventus, the best manager in Football Manager.
Stop the cap.
Let's go look into the squad. So as you can see here, boys, we are in the squad and we can see the key players. There's going to be a few players we're going to want to build this rebuild around. Starting off with the likes with Weston McKennie, a top American baller. Then we're going to move on to the likes of Dusan Vlahovic, a young 24-year-old striker, is someone that we're going to want to need in this squad for us, boys. We also got the loan of Kolo Muani, which we're going to want to make on a permanent because he's a class on grass striker and we're going to be using him as a main striker for us up top. His stats are absolutely insane. We've also got the likes of former Wonderkid Manuel Locatelli. He's also going to be a very integral part for our side, with the likes of Coop Miners, Douglas Luiz, and even Bremer. Now, one of the kids that we're going to want to keep in this side and make sure we can try build around them as well is going to have to be Kenan Yildiz and even Fabio Moretti, Renato Fiega, and even the likes of Kevin Turam. But as we can also see, the team does have a lot of players that are on the age of 25 and above that are more of ripened players. As you can say, there's a lot of players that we're going to want to shift out of the team eventually so we can try get in those new gens. But now we're going to move on to the tactic and we're going to show you how we set up. Now we have done the tactic, boys, and this is what we have got. We've got Kolo Muani, a man that we need in this side at the AF at striker for us. We've got Nico Gonzalez as an inside forward on support for us. We've got Timothy Weah on a winger on support. I'm a big fan of Timothy Weah and I think he can be an integral piece to our side this season. Moving on next, in cam we got Kenan Yildiz as someone we want to build that side around. He's going to be a very important player in the coming years. We've also got Coop Miners on Regista, Diego Luiz at the Segundo Volante, Cambiasso at the fullback, and Gatti and Bremer in the centre back position, with Kalulu at the fullback. And the starting goalkeeper is going to be him. I can't pronounce his name, but you guys know. Going into the instructions, we've got passing to play, focus on the left and the right, play out of defense, work into the box, slightly higher tempo with a slightly shorter passing directness, play for set pieces, fairly wide, counter press on. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm not going to explain every single one because it will take ages, but as you can see, we have all the tactics set. We've got the in transition, the out of possession, and the in possession tactics done. And if you guys want to see these tactics and you want to use it, if it's successful, we're going to put this tactic on the Patreon. So if you guys want to sign up, make sure you go to the Patreon in the description below, and this is going to be there for you to use it. But let me use it first and see if it's good, because it might be shit and then there's no point using it. So let's give it a look. Now, moving into the transfer budget, we have 60 million to try and improve this side with a 32k wage budget. That's a decent amount of money to start off with Juventus. As it is a big club, we do expect to have these big amount of money, so we're going to be looking for some wonder kids and seeing if we can get any younger players that can improve in the side for years to come. Now, here are the rules. We have to try win the Champions League in 5 seasons, and we also need to win the Coppa Italia and also the Seria 3 times during this rebuild. The main focus here is also going to be signing wonder kids and getting rid of the old players at this club, as we want to influence youth in Juventus side. So I'm going to go into the transfer window and I'll tell you guys and I'll show you guys what happens at the end of the month.
1 hour later.
Alright, boys, so as you can see here, when we move into the transfers, we have signed the one, the only Giorgio Scavelli. What a centre back. We brought him in for 17 million. I think this is a transfer that's very realistic and I feel like he's a must-have centre back if you have the resources available. Next, we have Samuel Viganato, someone we brought in for 7.5 million, a very cheap deal. This guy is going to be a very good carry for us in the future. Potentially could train him to be a false 9, but we're looking into it. I think we're going to keep this guy on the bench and try implement him into our side and see how he progresses. Now let's move on to the fixtures. Now the fixtures were very good, boys, except from one. I don't know how this happened, but we did end up losing 1-3 to Toronto. But in all goodness, boys, we have absolutely smashed it from the start. The 3-1 win was very disappointing, but we skip over that lightly as I think it was just a blip in form. So with that being said, the season so far is looking good. We stand third in the Serie A, tied on points with Milan, Brisbane and Inter Milan. So we're going to go to the end of the season, round this up and see if we can win our first Seria title in the first season, maybe a cheeky Coppa Italia, or even maybe Champions League football. And as you can see, boys, we are finally at the end of the season and it's not gone as well as we thought, boys. It's been hell of a ride. First of all, boys, as you can see, we are on the player stats before we even show you the results and fixtures. Vlahovic ended up getting 18 goals in 4 assists in 38 games, which isn't that bad. I would like him to probably have scored a bit more goals. He only got 12 goals in 29 games in the Seria. And once again, the one and only, the one that I knew that would cook for us this season, Thiago Motta, scored 16 goals and 10 assists for us this season, which is pretty decent from the wing position. We did change the formation a little bit, but we'll get into that later. I think I do want a bit of a higher goal return from our strikers and wingers in the future, but we'll take it as it is now. Nico Gonzalez started off very well in the beginning of the season, ended up scoring 14 goals and 11 assists for us this season, which is pretty decent as well. And other guys that were key for us this season, Weston McKennie also had a very good season for us, and Cambiaser also stood out during the season for us as well. Also coming in, the man that I said is going to be based on this rebuild, basically the man that I knew that would absolutely be world class for us, Giorgio Scalvini, comes in with this season on a 6.9 with 1 goal in 24 appearances. He didn't start every single game as he is young and I wanted to just slowly introduce him to the side, but he did have a very good season in my eyes. So now we're going to move on to the results and show you what happened. So boys, unfortunately we only managed to finish 4 points off top of the league to try. Now I did make a small mistake, boys. I made a small mistake. I forgot to press the button when you simulate that keeps your tactics. So for most of the season, when the inconsistency started to lie, they were playing a formation that wasn't mine.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
As you can see, for most of the season they ended up playing a 4-4-2, which wasn't my tactic. As soon as I switched the tactic back when I realized my mistake, we ended up cooking, which was around here. It was just a little bit too late for us. So I do think if I keep, you know, the formation we're using this previous season, we should be able to win the league, especially with the new transfers. We also did end up finishing runners up in the final, losing 2-0 to AC Milan, unfortunately.
1 hour later.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now it's not looking too good. Last season's start was a lot more promising than this season's start. I have changed the formation a little bit and we have made a lot of solid transfers. So without further ado, let's get straight into those transfers and the tactics. So as you guys can see, we have made some big investments at Juventus. We've spent a lot of money, but we're hoping it can work off. Let's start off first with Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani has come in for a grand price of 101 million. He is absolutely on fire right now with 4 assists and 1 goal in 3 games, but this guy is going to be absolutely world class. We're going to skip over the second transfer because I really want you guys to wait and anticipate for that, because it's a big transfer and all my boys that watch the Twitch streams will know who it is and who I have brought to the Juventus side. But let's move right into Kubo. We brought Kubo for 40 million on the dot and he's not performed for me at all. You guys know how I love my Japanese Wonderkids from the Twitch streams, but 6.4 rating. We've been playing him in a false 9 role, which I think would work, but I decided to change the formation from the false 9 just because I don't see him really cooking in that spot. But we will trust in Kubo to cook later in the season. Moving on next, we also brought in the pre-arranged transfers of Nicolo Gonzalez, Lloyd Kelly, and Di Dreggio. I think I said that right. I'm not sure, but I think I did. Moving in next, we needed a right back to replace Kalulu as we let Kalulu go because he was on loan, and we brought on Gonzalez Montel. Now I know we want young players, but I had to get this guy in because he was so cheap. Now moving on next, the one we all been waiting for, boys, the one and only, the best Wonderkid, 6'4" beast of a man, Samuel Iridion has arrived at Juventus, boys. I am absolutely ecstatic about this. This guy is gonna be class. Now he hasn't performed too good in his starting 3 games, but let him cook, let him simmer, let the flavors come out of the dish, and I'm telling you, boys, this guy is gonna cook for us. All right, now on the terms of selling, we did sell a few players that were not key or integral to my future at Juventus. And starting off first was Weston McKennie, selling him for a total price of 34 million. Moving quickly, we go to Gatti. We sold him for 19 million to Real Madrid. Now moving into the formation, boys, we have switched from the last season's formation to a 4-2-2-2. We have Iridion and Vlahovic starting up top, Gonzalez and Kolo Muani on the wings for us, Coop Miners, Douglas Luiz in the anchors for us, and we've got a back four of Cambiasso, Lloyd Kelly, Scalvini and Montel coming in for that solid 4-back. And moving into the last one, we have a goalkeeper on the GK. We're gonna move right into the end of the season and see where we end up in season 2. As you can see, we are back at the end of season 2 and we are here. Let's see how we performed in season 2. Moving into the results first, we finished 3rd in the Seria, which isn't bad. It's a performance above last season, but similar point tally. We missed out on the league by 6 points this season, but Dusan Vlahovic was top goal scorer with 28 goals in 35 games in Seria. So he really has improved from last season. And as we can see, Kolo Muani has also secured himself the top assist man this season with 17 assists and 11 goals this season. Absolutely worth the price tag of 101 mil. This guy is a bagsman. Going on to other competitions, we didn't do as well in the Champions League. As you can see, we would really struggle to get past Atletico Madrid. In the league phase, we did very good. We nearly came top. But as you can see, even though we did good in the league phase, it wasn't enough to take us through to the Champions League, as we got knocked out 3-2 by Atletico Madrid and their Brian Zangoza. And in the return leg, it ended up 0-0, meaning that we didn't make it through and got knocked out in the round of 16. Moving on swiftly, in the Italian Cup was also another failure this season, as we got knocked out by Milan in the quarterfinals. So with all that season, we didn't actually manage to accomplish anything, and we're still searching for our first trophies in this save so we can complete the challenge. Moving into the season stats, we can also see it was a very clinical season for our strikers and our attackers up front. So I feel like we just lacked the end product when it came to actually getting the results across the line. And with that being said, some of our top performers this season was Montel, and as I told you guys, I knew he would be pretty good for us. He ended up having 7 assists this season. Coop Miners with 11 assists and 3 goals, and Nico Gonzalez probably could have a little bit of a better season, but he ended with 6 goals and 10 assists. Douglas Luiz also had a pretty good season with 11 assists and 4 goals. So in total, boys, I feel like we do need to improve a little bit on our defensive side of it. I did see that we've conceded a lot of goals in some games, but in total, I do think the tactic is right for us, and I do think the formation is working. So I'm going to try and keep this team together, maybe add a few defensive reinforcements in the next transfer window, some more Wonderkids to try build the side. But as you know, we only have 3 more seasons to get this done, so I'm hoping we can push on in the 3rd season. I'm going to go do the transfer window, and I'll see you guys at the 1st season.
1 hour later.
And we are back at the beginning of season 3, and the season is looking like it could end up good. Starting off first, we brought in the 60 million Portuguese right back Thiago Santos. He's played 3 matches, he's got 1 assist so far. He's been pretty good. We've got him on a win back, on attack or support, but this guy looks like he could stay in our side for a very long time. Then we brought in the king of all centre backs. Everyone knows his name, everyone's used him in FM, and if you haven't, you better go use him now. Monday Diamonde. What a centre back. It's already there, media description, elite centre back. This guy is going to be our centre back for the rest of the rebuild, and I'm telling you, he will be absolutely world class. Then we absolutely found our first new gen of the save, Vens Vestergaard. This guy looks like he could be a mainstay in our keeping slot. Di Gregorio is getting older, he is 21 now, so with the likes of Vestergaard on the rise, he's 16 now. We're going to try to implement him in the side and just slowly see if he can reach the levels of the goalkeeping we need by the time this rebuild is over. But without any interruptions, boys, getting right in there, I think that this is the season where we can have a trophy, boys. We look like we're on for the Italian Seria. It looks like we're on for the Italian Cup. Let's see if we can reach one of our goals and make sure we can get this Seria title done. So I'm going to go to the end of the season now, and I'll see you guys for the season 3 review. Boys, we are back. And I'm only laughing because it's another failed season. Let's go take a look at this, eh? So, the competitions we start off with. The Seria, we have improved in our title run. We was on 79 points this season, and it is due to another silly mistake of mine, but we'll get into that in a moment. Champions League, we got knocked out by Chelsea in the round of 16. And then we took another L in the Coppa Italia quarterfinal with a 3-1 loss to Inter Milan. Lads, I'm struggling. I am struggling here. It is not looking good for us. It might be time for a formation change. But on good news, as I said earlier, we did finish third in the league, so it is an improvement. Dusan Vlahovic was also top goal scorer once again in the league with 29 goals and 7 assists. And as we know, Samuel Oridion, the Nigerian and Spanish beast, ended up scoring 31 goals with 8 assists in 54 games. What a go. Then moving on, we actually decided to start Yildiz this season to see how good he would do, and he ended up getting on the board 12 goals and 15 assists. We are also getting 12 goals and 13 assists from the left wing. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't I start Nico Gonzalez and why didn't I start Kola Moani? Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you believe me if I said I forgot to lock them in at the beginning of the season? Yeah, I made a grave mistake and I forgot to lock in the two best wingers in our team on the left and the right hand side, and we accidentally played our reserves the whole season. But we also forgot to start our starting goalkeeper, Di Giorgio. So yeah, he started only 4 games this season in the Seria, so we probably would have won it if we actually had the right players in once again. It's currently 11:46 for me right now, trying to get this done before work, so just bear with me. I feel like a tactic change may be needed to sort this team right out, as I don't want to blame it on us not having the right players in the formation for it not working. At the end of the day, if the formation was good enough, I feel like the players would work. These players aren't bad that were playing anyway. But moving in, the board continues to trust me. They haven't fired me yet for not even winning the league, so we're gonna go into the next season with 53 million and a 200k wage budget, and we're just gonna try sign some Wonderkids and see if they can take us to the next level once again. It's gonna be another Wonderkid summer. See if we can get some young players to try take us to the next level, because honestly, we need to win a trophy. It's getting close to that deadline. We've got 2 seasons to complete all our goals. Can we do it?
1 hour later.
Alright guys, we are back and we are on a roll once again. Will this be the season? Who bloody knows? This is the season. We're gonna win something. Champions League, Coppa Italia or Seria, we're getting at least one this season. I'm telling you that for sure. Now let's move on straight on to the transfers. Now starting off, this was a very interesting window. It wasn't too crazy. I don't think I spent that much money, but we have got some really talented youngsters. Coming in first is a statement signing, they may say. One of the best transfers I think I've made. We've got Quenda from Sporting for 34 million off a release clause. This guy looks like a pace demon. Coming in next, we've also found another new gen. This guy looked like he was probably one of the top Wonderkids in the world right now. This guy is also just another Quenda type player. Absolute pace demon. Can cross, can dribble, can finish, and he can even get his head on it if he needs to. Tall wingers is important in this game, so we've emphasized on that. Then we brought in, you know, I had to do it, boys. The guys know me. You know I had to bring in at least one Japanese youngster, and we have brought him in. His potential's not the craziest. Probably just going to loan him out and sell him for some profit, but he's here nonetheless just to fill in gaps. We needed depth on the wing and we needed depth in other places, so we started off with the wing first. Next, we've got Zidane Yanez. What a name. He looks absolutely cracked. I think this is one of the Wonderkids they put in with the downloaded database. If you guys want that, once again, it'll be in the Patreon. Everything here will be on the Patreon. The save, this skin, any sort of tactics that I use that you think you might want to use is going to be in the Patreon. It's £5 a month. I'll be very appreciative if you guys could subscribe to it. It makes me help take this channel much further, and you know, it's up to you though. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe. This has taken me a long time. It is currently 1 AM right now, and I have work in at least 5 hours, so I'm really pushing it for you guys, but I hope you guys appreciate my effort. Moving in next, we also got another guy we're going to be selling for profit. Brought him for a cheap price of 5 million off Man City. He looks pretty decent. I needed depth. And we got one more who looks quite promising. Can't say his name, but I'm going to go with Vlekovic. I think that's how you say his name. He looks absolutely amazing. Brought him from a cheap price of 4.9 million. This guy looks like he can really implement himself into our Juventus side. And with the outs, we did sell Yildiz. Yildiz has gone to Saudi. He did have a very good season last season, but we thought we might as well count our losses and just sell him. Next, we also sold the likes of Kubo. Yeah, I know, boys. It's tough. It's a rough one. It's a rough one. He just wasn't the player I thought he was going to be for us. You know, in his first season, 7 goals and 5 assists. In his second season, 2 goals and 2 assists. But he just wasn't good enough. Then next, we sold 30-year-old Tell to OG Nice just because we wasn't really going to use him after the season we had with him. He had a very promising first season, but the second season we already brought in a replacement, so we sold him just to get some of our money back. But that was really it for the transfers. We're now going to move on to the tactic, and then we're going to show you what happens in the rest of the season. Moving on to the tactic, it is very much similar as last season. I thought maybe I should just tweak a few positions and not change it too much. I don't want to be a tinker man. I'm trying to keep it consistent so we can learn how to play our system, and when we eventually get to that moment when it's the Champions League, we've already perfected the Mason ball. So we did end up replacing Kolo Muani and Nico Gonzalez with these two Wonderkids because I believe these guys are the future. I will be trying to sell Kolo Muani and Nico Gonzalez in January, but for now I decided to keep them just for depth reasons because we need the depth in our squad. Anyway, enough waffling, let's move into the rest of the tactic. What we just changed from the tactic from the seasons before is we just got hit crosses early so we can try utilize the height of our strikers, as Vlahovic, as we know, and Omeridion are both very tall strikers and have very good heading qualities. Except from that, it's basically the same tactic, so we're going to see how that performs, and we'll see you at the end of the season for season 4, boys. Can we win a trophy? Can we save this rebuild, or is it going to be another flop? Boys, we are back at the end of the season. It's not looking good again. This rebuild is absolutely failed, boys. So once again, we've been knocked out of the round of 16 against Inter Milan. We finished 4th in the league. We got knocked out in the quarter-final of the Italian Cup, and we didn't even win the Super Cup. So really and truly, I've only won one trophy being here my whole time at Juventus, and that was a Super Cup. I might be a fraud. We actually went into this leg, as you can see here, ahead on points with a 3-2 victory, but we ended up losing out 3-0 against Blue Neri. I don't know why I keep saying that, Inter Milan. But moving into the stats swiftly, Vlahovic has had another great season with 38 goals in 14 games in a season. Then moving forward, we have Kolo Muani with 23 goals and 8 assists, and I'm pretty sure that is off the bench because I didn't start him. So I'm pretty sure that's off the bench. Oh no, he did start. 17 goals and 7 assists in the Seria. So it turns out, I was a bit confused, boys, but it turns out that Samu Iridion got injured for 7 months this season. That is a big loss. No wonder why we missed out on goal output. That is a big loss. Nonetheless, Samu still had 16 goals and 4 assists in 18 games for the side, helping us reach that goal. The new wonder kid Magnus Fugul also came clutch with 8 goals and 11 assists in the Seria, and in total he had 13 goals and 17 assists in 45 games for us. Moving on next, we also had the likes of Quenda receive 20 assists for the team and 4 goals. This guy was also amazing for us, a key man as we knew he was going to be, and he's proved to us once again why he's a top winger. Just look at the stats on him. This guy is quality. Honestly, boys, if you guys want to take this save over from me in the Patreon, I would say do it, because there's a lot of players here that probably you guys can cook way better than I am right now. And it looks like once again, for some reason, we cannot stop this defensive disaster class, and it's the defense that has cost us another season. Also, out of surprise here, Ousmane Diamonde has 14 goals and 7 assists from the DM spot. This guy is absolutely insane. With that being said, let's move into the last season, season 5. Can we save this? Can we get a Seria? Can we get a Champions League? Can we get a Coppa Italia? Can we at least, if we're not going to reach the goal that we set ourselves, maybe I was too harsh on my expectations. If we can win a Seria, if we can win a Coppa Italia, then I'm definitely taking that as a W, and we've definitely saved Juventus.
We are at the beginning of season 5, and you're probably wondering why it's a voiceover. Well, I might have potentially forgot to unmute my mic when I was recording the beginning of season 5, so unfortunately there is no audio for the beginning of season 5. But anyway, we've got Samu Iridion, Vlahovic, Quenda, Flug, Diamonde, Gazala, Cambiasso, Bremer, Scalvini, Santos and Vestergaard all in the lineup for the start of this season. And we've made some new transfers. As you can see, we started off with Jose Gonzalez with 83 million. It was absolutely insane. This guy looks like a world-class talent. He's a deep lion playmaker, all-around midfielder, and he has the energy to control the pitch. He might carry us for the last season. He might get us that Champions League football. Who bloody knows? with all that being said, after this brilliant DM joined the squad, there wasn't a lot going on in the transfer window. As you will see, there was some signings we've made, but they're all either for registration purposes or we signed them just because we needed some depth in some spaces, because we've always lacked depth in the Juventus squad. Well, you guys saw the lineup as I said in the beginning, but let's get a bit of a deeper look into the tactic. We are sticking with the same tactic for season 5. We've got the 2 strikers in that AF role, my favorite. We've got the wingers on winger and attack and winger support with Quenda and Flug, as I said before. It is the same lineup. We just brought in the new DM, put him in there, but everyone else is from the season before because they had very good seasons, as we know. So we just decided to stay with the same lineup and just see if we can cook, because I believe that this tactic can take us far. With that being said, that was the end of our roundup for the transfer window and the fixtures that we had. It looks good so far. Let's take you to the end of season 5 and let's see what happens.
Boys, as you can see here, we have failed the rebuild. This took me a long time to do. You know what I mean? This is actually 2 weeks later from the recording. But anyway, on better terms, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you like and subscribe. There should be more content coming more consistently. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the other clips channel as well, Cracked, in the description below. Yeah, I might have a little 1 versus 1 rebuild coming up soon, but we never know. Lock in, boys. I've been your boy Cracked, and I'm out.